Hello, it's Carrie with the Gilded Bubble, and today I'm going to be making a test batch of shampoo bars. I'm using only one color, it's Ballet Slippers by Mad Micas. I wanted just a very subtle pink, and this color is perfect for that. I'm also using white tea and bergamot from Nature's Garden. It's a light, very fresh scent, works perfectly in this shampoo bar. I love it, especially because when I was making this, the apple cider vinegar that I'm using stunk really bad. Here I am just actually incorporating that color into my oil. Since I'm doing one color, I went ahead and mixed that mica straight into my base oils. For this recipe, I used a combination of castor oil, shea butter, crap. Olive oil and sweet almond oil. I just made myself laugh because I couldn't remember sweet almond oil for some reason. This is a recipe I did get online, and I will link to that in the description. I wanted to test a cold process shampoo because in the state of Florida, you can sell soap without a cosmetic license, but anything beyond actual soap, in other words, that chemical composition of mixing the lye with the oils and that sort of thing, is anything beyond that is considered a cosmetic, and you have to get a license, and it's a whole nightmare. If you want to know more about that, you can Google it. But suffice to say, I learned thankfully from another soaper here in Florida all about that, and it really kind of made me change my mind about how I wanted to handle the potential of making solid shampoo. So that's just my melted shea butter that I'm adding into this mix of oils. And the recipe that I found online actually did call for the shea butter, but instead of the sweet almond oil, it called for avocado oil. Well, those are fairly interchangeable in terms of soap, what they bring to the soap. So I went ahead and subbed that out because I had sweet almond oil on hand, and this was just pretty much a test batch. So and it used up the sweet almond oil that I had, so I didn't have to worry about buying any expensive oils for this. So that was really great. But yeah, so that's just the base oils in there with the color. I've also added in the fragrance. So now all that I have to do, of course, is get that mica mixed in really well, which in all honesty, y'all, this is the best part when I go to mix this with the stick blender. Wait, because right now this looks like a muddy mess, and you're kind of like, that's disgusting, Carrie. Why would I want to shampoo my hair with that? But you will notice here in a second when I grab the stick blender and you see that baby turn on, this is going to be the most beautiful mix of pink oil you've ever seen in your life. So, are you ready? You better be ready because here it comes. Now watch this. Isn't that the prettiest thing you've ever seen? Of course, you have to love pink, but I love pink. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at all those bubbles I incorporated in though. But it's a really easy way if you're doing a solid batch of soap to get everything incorporated. Is just go ahead and put that mica in with your base oils, and then when you go ahead and put the lye in, then you're already at that stage where your mica is incorporated. But if you're a new soap maker, I first of all would not recommend doing this recipe. It's a little more complicated. But secondly, you want to remember that it's harder to detect trace maybe because, well, at least when I started, I relied more on the color of the batter than anything else, and that's a little harder to see or a little harder to determine. But I found actually that I like the way that this when you start to get emulsion and go to trace, I find that this is actually easier for me now. I think the color difference is a little easier to spot because the oils are yellow. So if I'm using any color other than yellow, that's going to be a little bit better. So my lye solution for this particular batch actually is a combination of water and apple cider vinegar and a little bit of sugar water. And that is added benefits to the shampoo. Now, again, soap will get you clean. That is all it legally does, right? That's all that we can, without a doubt, unequivocally say that soap will do, is it will get you clean. But there is evidence to show that that something like apple cider vinegar can provide conditioning benefits. It's not really evident whether that happens after saponification, but it does happen. People use apple cider vinegar rinses on their hair all the time. And then, of course, the sugar is going to help with the bubbles. So those are things that really will benefit. Now, I was measuring my temperature here, of course, to make sure that I was good because my oils were room temperature. But you notice how disgusting that lye solution looks. Isn't that nasty? Let me tell you, it smelled 100 times worse than it looks. It smelled like dirty feet. And I thought, who is going to want to wash their hair with this? Not me. And I will tell you that, thankfully, that smell did not survive the saponification process. It now smells lovely like white tea and bergamot. So rest assured, I will not ever try to sell shampoo that smells like dirty feet. So here's what I was saying about emulsion. What I was saying about emulsion. Here you can see how that lye and oil, and now we're getting to emulsion. So you see those swirls in it. I think it's easier to spot here. And so I'm adding the sugar water here at trace. I think I might have accidentally said that was in the lye solution. It's not. You're supposed to add it at trace. So I actually added it at emulsion, same difference. But I'm going to go ahead and get this to almost a light trace so that it pours pretty evenly, but that also I can make sure that it's fully incorporated. I don't want any kind of separation of oils. And you can see that batter is just starting to get to trace. It's very, very fluid still, which is great. I'm pouring this into some round like pebble molds. So I want to be able to get it really fluid. Here's my little molds, and I spilled soap on it earlier, so that's why I have that little edge on there. But this just pours beautifully. You'll see once I get to the end of the pour that it is starting to thicken up. So you want to work fairly quickly with this recipe. It wasn't actually fast moving, but because I mixed it a little beyond emulsion, because I went ahead and added the fragrance, I didn't pay much attention to whether this fragrance would accelerate my trace, although I was fairly certain it wouldn't. And I knew that, I was going for a relatively hard bar. It doesn't really, because the vinegar is going to help it set up harder. And so because of all those things, I knew it was going to be fairly quickly moving, but not like accelerated. So I had plenty of time to work with it. But guys, I just love it. I was anticipating this making 12 bars of shampoo. It actually made 11, which is driving me absolutely nuts. So I'll have to adjust my recipe for this particular set of molds, but that's a minor quibble. Once you've figured out percentages, you can pretty easily adjust a recipe. And look, I'm off camera again, although that happened because I cropped in a little tighter to get some of the extraneous stuff out of there. But so you mostly can see what I'm doing here. But there is no big reveal. I don't have a cut, and I didn't film myself unmolding it. It is a solid pink round bar of soap. Nothing super exciting, although I will show you a cute photograph of it. But I'm really excited to see how this performs as a shampoo. I did do a more traditional solid shampoo for my personal use, and I really loved the way that made my hair feel. But again, in the state of Florida, that's considered a cosmetic, and I don't have the time or the money to get licensed for that, nor do they have the facilities. So I'm sticking with soap, and so this is a shampoo soap. But I am hoping it'll work, and I will keep you posted on how well this performs. I might do another video talking about it later on. But I'm just going to finish scraping out the bottom of my bowl here so that I don't waste any of this soap. I got it really, really scraped clean, guys. And I got 11 pretty even size bars of soap. So I unmolded those. They turned out perfect. And here's a really great picture in 3, 2, and there you have it, a really great bar of soap for your hair that hopefully I'll be able to put in my store at some point if it turns out the way I'm hoping. And, hey, you can check it out at thegildedbubble.com, or you can also find me on Instagram or Facebook at The Gilded Bubble. If you liked this video, hey, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. That really helps people to find my videos. And if you are interested in solid shampoo, used solid shampoo before, want to let me know what you think, please leave a comment. And as always, if you super loved this video, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, hang around, come back, check out my other videos. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.